Hello everybody, this is JacobViral. Today I'm going to be showing you the digital bass new 2021 Stetsom bass amplifier line. This is the 3000 watt. Going to be doing a amp hookup. I'm going to be testing this amplifier on my system as well as seeing how much power it puts out and do a tuning, so stay tuned. Alright, we'll go ahead and dig in first with the unbox review for around a minute, then we'll get into getting it installed, tuned, clamp test it with real world power test as well as the test on my subs. So I'll be sure to also put the links in the description so I don't have to give y'all too much rundown on video for if you want to see how much it costs, the websites to buy it from, and the manual for it. So right up front you can see it has protection and clip light, which I'll be able to utilize later for the test and tuning. You'll see really small footprint space, right under 7 pounds. Single input, since it is a 3K amp, that's really well known to only have a single input. This is a oversized 2-aught gauge wire inputs on it, and you can see the fans on both ends, so for good airflow and cooling. So that's a nice perk too from Brazil. Input right and left, so there isn't an output, but there is an RCA input, and all the other standard settings that you have within a crossover of an amplifier, and the 6-gauge speaker inputs. So those are pretty nice as well. So the rating on this, I'll be able to show you the manual right now, is rated at 14.4 volts. The 1 ohm is 3,950 RMS at 14.4. Very impressive numbers. And at 12.6 is right at 3,100 watts RMS. So this is a 12.6 volt rated amplifier. When I do the test later in this video, I'll actually have my vehicle be started. For the clamp results you'll see later, and it'll be in the 14 volt range. So go ahead and show you all the measurements real quick, the length and width, then we'll go ahead and dig in and get it installed. So once again, hit the like button if you haven't. Let me know what y'all think about this kind of amplifier, and this is only the 3K amplifier. I'm sure Stetsom later is going to be doing bigger amps and maybe even a smaller amp of this digital bass line, but pretty stout amplifier, and I'll have to see how it does later in the video. Let's find out. So while I'm getting it installed, go ahead and say if anybody wants to check out Stetsom USA on Instagram, they said go ahead and give them a shout out. So there's your shout out there, Stetsom, for Instagram, Stetsom USA, if you all want to go ahead and give them a follow, as well as check out their stetsomstore.com. Links in the description for more details on the digital bass amplifier and really all their product lines. As well as on my second channel, you'll see JacobViral 2. I have running 2 of the Vulcan 8Ks that they are be able to show y'all a lot of testing I've done on them, so you'll enjoy those videos as well. So just got the RCA's inputs installed as well as the power and the ground I'm about to finish up now. I'm using a table, but my vehicle is right next to this table, so I'm pulling from my 90 amp hours of limitless lithium, and we'll go ahead and get it turned on. First turn on in a second. Okay, so I got it installed, power, ground, turn on wire, RCA's. Gonna go ahead and do the initial first turn on now. We go start the truck, make sure everything's good, and first turn on. I'm not hooking up the speaker inputs yet because I want to be able to see that it turns on fine without any issues, as well as I'm going to see real quick on the tuning on the other side of it. Alright, I'm back. So I'm going to be testing this at 25 hertz on my system as well as seeing how much power it's putting out. But first I wanted to tune the amplifier real quick. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so for this tuning, of course, this is going to be realistic. So I'll keep my bass boost off. Going to have for my low filter, normally I put it around the 80 hertz mark for sub, so I'll just eyeball it for this. The subsonic I'm going to go ahead and keep off since I already know what I'm going to be playing it at. Recommend to put it usually half an octave below your tuning. And then the gain on this, so just assume I can use this clipping meter right here that came with the amplifier for this. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and play this 25 hertz tone Bluetooth until I see clipping. And then this is with me turning it up. Alright, so it was really that quick and easy. So I have a 2 volt or 2.5 volt head unit output, and my head unit is actually turned down a few notches, so it was right at about 2 to 3/4 of the gain. Actually, I'd say about 2/3. I started seeing a flicker, and I don't know if you could see it, but that's pretty much that simple. You could actually tune your amplifier to that. I did 25 hertz just with a -5 dB tone, but of course you could also do 0 dB. There's a lot of different ways. This is just the way I do it. I normally would use an actual SMD DD1, but I'm not going to be doing that today. I have videos on my second channel, JacobViral, if you want to see stuff on that. YouTube JacobViral too. But go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. We're about to hook up the speakers to this, do a real world clamp test results on here as well. So we'll see how much power it's putting out. And at the end of the video, I'll actually show you the subwoofer flex. So you'll get to see inside my system with some subflex. So stay tuned. All right, I'll go ahead and get the wires installed now for the speaker input. So I have 4 dual 1 18-inch subwoofers. So I'm going to be using 2 of those for this test. It's going to be ran to 1 ohm. So I have 2 amplifiers, actually, the Vulcan 8 case, as I mentioned earlier, at 1 ohm per. So I'm using 2 of those, ran from that, run to this amplifier to test it out. So I'm running an 8K on 2 subs, but for this test I have the digital bass. This is the bass series, so we're going to go ahead and find out in a second how it looks with the power and how my jump rises for 2 frequencies. So go ahead and slam that like button once again if you haven't, and I'll see you in a second with this test. Let's do it. All right, now for the test on power. So I have a multimeter measuring voltage, and then I have a clamp meter clamping my amperage. If you want to know how to do this, I have a channel video on the second channel if you want to know how. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my vehicle on, and we'll find out. This is one of like 3 or 4 ways you can find out power. There's some efficiency to this. This is probably not going to be 100% accurate, but it'll be fairly close. So let's do this. So I start my vehicle, make sure it's on. I'm going to go ahead and get everything in place. I have a piece of paper here to take notes that I can go over to, and we'll see. So simply what you want to do is multiply these 2 numbers and then divide the 2 numbers to see your rise, my impedance rise. So impedance will actually deviate and change. So I'm going to be testing this at 25 hertz just like I tuned it at, right near clipping. You'll actually see the clip meter here if it turns on, and this will be after rise. So right now it's wired to 1 ohm and 1.1, 1 ohm exact, and it's going to go up, and we'll see what it actually is putting on the score. All right, so we're about to find out real quick what these numbers are. And I'll kind of watch this too to know clipping. So we'll multiply these. It's going to be pretty loud for a second. All right, so around 120, 23, something like that. Around there or less. So if I divide those 2 numbers, let's just say 120 divided by 23, it was rising to 5.2 ohm. And if I do the 120 times 23, 120 times 23, so it was putting out right around 2,700 watts, 2.7K after rise, depending on how, and that was on a hard clip, and that was just one test. I guess I'll go ahead and try a higher frequency as well real quick while we're here. Why not? So let's go to something I know that clips pretty fast. I'll do 49 hertz. And 42, 42 and 85, so 85 times 42, so 3,500 watts there. I mean, I can definitely tell that this amplifier is made for subwoofer bass, way better than the full range, so definitely doing really well. So I hope y'all liked that. Like I said, this is around 80% efficient. So let's just say you cut that 80%. You still see the numbers are there. It did really well, and actually pretty impressed with this little mini amplifier. The size of my hand, the amp is still, you could tell it's been putting the power out. It was clipping too. So this was more of like a dynamic test. So if you see somebody do this on like a real clamp device or an expensive device, I don't have any of that. Just this $60 to $80 tool here, clamp meter and a multimeter. So under $100, I just found out. It's not exact, but I'm happy with it. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Stay tuned for more videos as well as a second channel. So let's go ahead and do the subflex to end the video. All right, so if anybody doesn't know, this is my build, 418s. I actually have only 2 of them hooked up. The top 2 are hooked up at 1 ohm, so the box will be feeling a lot bigger than it really is. But go ahead and we'll try with 18 hertz first. So everybody likes, you would want to see, since it is a low frequency amplifier, so I try to test it with a low. So here we go. That's enough of the test. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out StetsomStore.com and Amazon.com/Stetsom for all the products, and I appreciate Stetsom for bringing this product to y'all today. As well as if you want to become a channel supporter, feel free to reach out on Patreon or YouTube.com/JacobViral/join. I appreciate y'all all supporters, and I'll say for the next one. What's going on, everybody? This is JacobViral ending this video to say thank you for watching my videos. Every single day I have a daily cardio video I upload. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and I'll see you tomorrow.